knives in the closet. It started with small things. Delilah began showing up at Jackson's apartment late at night, barefoot, with cheap wine and no explanation. He never asked why. He just let her in. Jackson started appearing at her penthouse unannounced, fixing the lock on her door, cooking breakfast in her kitchen like it had always been his. They never called it what it was. They were just hiding, just killing time, just using each other's space to breathe. But every time her perfume lingered on his pillow, every time she caught him staring too long in the quiet, something between them deepened. Until one night, he left his key on her counter. No words. Just that. A choice. And the next night, she used it. His place was dim, cleaner than she expected, like he never really lived in it. Delilah wandered like a ghost, barefoot, silk robe brushing the floor, a glass of wine in hand. She knew better than to snoop. But temptation? Temptation was her oldest friend. A locked drawer in his study caught her attention. Curiosity is always what ruins them. She picked it in under a minute. Old habits never died. Inside, a manila folder. Thick. Labeled with her name in all caps. Delilah Rain. She froze. The wine in her hand trembled. Photos. Dates. Records from places she thought she'd burned down. Names only a buried part of her remembered. Surveillance shots, some taken before they met. One of them, from years ago. His handwriting, notes in the margins. Unstable. Cold. Pattern, uses, breaks, disappears. Dangerous. She didn't hear the door open behind her. Looking for something. Jackson's voice cut through the air like a blade. She turned slowly, the folder still in her hands. Tell me why you were watching me before we met. He didn't answer right away. Didn't flinch. Just stepped into the room, eyes darker than she'd ever seen them. You think you're the only one who plays with fire, Delilah? A long silence passed between them. Then he said, low and quiet. You weren't supposed to matter. Chapter 8, the one game she never played. Delilah didn't speak at first. She just stared at the folder in her hands, its weight now unbearable. Her name, dissected like a case file. Her past, unwrapped like a corpse dug up from a forgotten grave. Everything in her stilled except her heartbeat. That pulsed like a ticking bomb. You were watching me. Her voice was low, calm, like the moment before a building collapses. Jackson didn't apologize. Didn't look away. I had a reason. You were a threat. And now? He took a step closer. Now you're the reason I'm not sleeping. The reason I don't trust myself anymore. Delilah's laugh was hollow, sharp. That's the problem, Jackson. You think not trusting yourself is new. I've lived my whole life like that. Her hand dropped the folder to the floor. Pages spilled out her sins, his obsession, a record of everything unspoken between them. She turned away. I let you in, she whispered. I don't do that. Ever. I know, he said. That's why it matters. But she didn't hear him. Because the world tilted, suddenly blurred. Her vision swam. The air felt wrong, thinner. The room began to dim, not like a power cut but like her mind was being peeled away from it. And then she woke up. Sweat clung to her skin. Her silk sheets were tangled around her legs. Her bedroom real. Untouched. No folder. No blood. No Jackson. Only the echo of his voice, still whispering in her skull. You weren't supposed to matter. Delilah sat up slowly, heart pounding. It felt like more than a dream. It felt like a warning. Or a memory. Or both. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number, we need to talk. J. She stared at the message, fingers trembling. Because suddenly, she wasn't sure if she was still dreaming. Or if her nightmare had just begun. Chapter 9, The Game Wakes with You. The message stayed on her screen like a bruise she couldn't rub away. We need to talk. J. Delilah didn't reply. Instead, she stared at her reflection in the mirror, bare skin, sweat slicked, wide eyes still caught between dream and waking. She could still feel the weight of that folder in her hands. Still see his face when he said she wasn't supposed to matter. But she did. And that was the most terrifying part. The cafe Jackson chose was public. Smart. Delilah arrived late on purpose. Let him sit there with his nerves eating at him if he had any. He looked calm. Too calm. A black button-up, sleeves rolled, no tie. The devil dressed casually. But his eyes, they were darker now. Did you dream about me? He asked softly, as she sat across from him. She stilled. What? I did, he said. Except in mine, you weren't scared when you found the folder. Delilah laughed under her breath. You're assuming I was scared. He tilted his head. You weren't. I was furious, Jackson. Her voice was razor-edged. There's a difference. Their coffees sat untouched. He leaned in slightly. I watched you because I thought you were dangerous. I stayed because I realized you were beautiful in a way that ruined people. And I liked it. And I liked being the one who could ruin you back, she said coldly. A moment passed. One heartbeat. Then another. You left something, he said, sliding a black envelope across the table. She opened it. Inside, a photograph. The surveillance photo from her dream. The exact one. The one taken years ago. Her hand went cold. This isn't possible, she whispered. That wasn't real. That dream wasn't real. He stared at her for a long time, then said, who says it was a dream? That night, she didn't sleep. And when she did, Jackson was waiting in the dream again. Only this time, he had blood on his hands. And this time, she wasn't sure she wanted to wake up.